spared no time to explore further into the stronghold. Before you all came across a bridge, a wooden bridge, in fact. After crossing the said bridge, Zinrat cut down the bridge so that nobody could escape. After doing so, the party was then greeted by a large, a scouting, or not a scouting party, but a group of guardsmen patrolling the stronghold. After throwing some bags of flour at the guardsmen and blowing it up with a fireball, the guards are narrowly defeated. Though the resulting explosion and screaming of being burned to death alerted a lot of goblins and orcs that came rushing to the area. The party, after taking some grievous wounds, some not taking much damage, was able to slay down this horde of just goblins and orcs. After some resting, the party continued their adventure and through like a cafeteria tavern like area of the stronghold, which seemed to be overturned, chairs and stools knocked over, food half eaten. It seemed to be where most of the horde had come from. As the parties made their way farther in, they took a long rest, I believe, as they had narrowly defeated the horde, but were looking in rougher shape, not wanting to go in unprepared to fight uh, Kilgore. Kilgore? Gorekill. Uh, I think it was Kilgore at first. I might have switched the name around. Kilgore. They took a long rest at the Shard. After doing so and some snoo and other activities, the party came back and were ready to fight Kilgore as they were not ambushed but questioned by a group of guards that saw both or two or three, I think, party members come out in the form of goblins. After being tricked, the whole party made their way with the orcs' help into Kilgore's war room, which is visible on the map here. It was a daring battle. Most of the party went down once or twice and using most of their resources and spell slots, but the party at the end was victorious, slaying not only Kilgore, what's his face, but also the rest of the orcs in the war room. And that is where we are readjourning this session. Who would like to go first if you're doing anything?
I guess Zenrot would just be nomming on some of the leftovers laying around.
Actually, as you say that, the rest of the party, you just kind of notice Zenrot disappear.
Like a poof, or
Yes, poof.
Immediately concerned, Acteza would try and figure out what's going on. Whether there's some lingering magical sort of essence, because I assume this doesn't look like the opening that we used to get to the shard.
Give me an Arcana check.
Not great. 6.
You're not really able to pick up on any magical remnants. It's almost as Zenrod existed and then ceased to exist in the same spot. You clearly know she was there before, but she is no longer there. All that's left is her dragon footprint.
Acteza would then proceed to inspect the entire room, trying to see if there was a trap that we set off unintentionally.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
17.
No. There seems to be some like markings around the room, but nothing magical nor trap-like. Nothing you've found common among your experience to indicate any magical spell or anything of sinister means was happened here. However, during your investigation on Kilgore's body, you do find some keys.
She would definitely grab the keys so that we could continue investigating the rest of the lair here to see
Okay.
if there's something
Raylo.
else at play.
Gotcha. Raylo, what are you doing at this moment?
Being very confused as to where Zinrot went and making sure that there's no more enemies that are just gonna pop up on us and try to sneak attack us.
Okay, make me a perception check.
Okay. Get perception. That would be a 13.
You listen out down the hallway, both looking in, and I'll actually, you do like looking down both the left path and the right path. You don't really notice like any signs of anybody coming your way. You don't notice any creatures. You don't notice any sounds or clanging or anything. It, for the most part, it sounds like you're alone.
Rayla, I'm not sure what has just occurred, but I can't sense any magical means that I am pertinent to, and there doesn't appear to be any traps in the room. So I think moving forward is the only way to figure out where Zinrod is gone.
I would agree. Looks like it'd be best if we do move forward and see if we can find Zinrod again.
Okay. And which direction are y'all heading? Oh, I see.
Or could go this way.
So as you make your way down that tunnel, you come across a left path, and actually, if you look down, or I guess left room, if you look in the room, you see a bunch of storage crates. There's some weapons and items, rations and such, but you also notice a pile of just gold and treasure. This looks to be like the treasury room of the stronghold.
I'm gonna go in and investigate it.
Okay. Give me an investigation check just to kind of see what all you find.
That would be a 16.
So in total, just quickly counting up the gold, you find about 1,000 gold pieces just laying on the ground at that chest. And strangely enough, you also find a cage, and inside the cage you find a person. Nick, go ahead and describe me your character.
Hold on. So, you see is a fairly tall, from what you can tell, almost looking like a wood elf creature, just kind of sitting over there. He's just like plain leather armor on. He has an olive tone skin with white hair, as well as you'll notice his eyes kind of a piercing yellow. And on his cheeks, like on his face, on his cheeks, you notice there's kind of 3 strange little marks on each cheek. That is my character right now.
Acteza would approach the cage. Hello. What did they imprison you for?
Or what I am.
Vague. I think you'll fit right in with our group.
That's true.
Given the state of both Rayla and Acteza, Bizelk, you smell just blood all over them. Orc, goblin in their own blood. It's very infatuating. You're having a hard time controlling yourself.
You notice Bizelk's eyes kind of narrow in. Oh, hold on. I think we're doing the lighting ceremony. One moment.
Okay. Quick break. All right. So, forgot where we were. I think y'all were talking to each other or something.
Yeah,
We're investigating.
we had just talked to our newfound compatriot in the cage there, and just like our image of Bruce in the gen chat, after seeing that we were covered in blood, he kind of eyes fixated on us.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should describe Acteza since I'm sitting here talking to you.
Sure, go ahead.
Acteza is a half elf. She stands at 5'4", pretty slender, kind of studious looking. She's actually got porcelain light white skin. If you had to kind of like assume she's that type of person that spends most of her time inside. She's got golden orange eyes and auburn hair, and basically at this moment kind of a little bit beaten up. As you kind of like look into her eyes, you can see that there's a lot more age than what her outward appearance would be. She's currently 350. And outside of that, she's wielding a sickle and a little bit worse for wear at the moment, which is what our DM was saying there.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Rayla?
Oh shoot. Yeah. So I currently, because I'm a changeling, so I can change appearance. But right now, I am got blonde hair, pale skin, dark eyes, just like a long flowing dress. I'm very cautious about what I tell you, just because you are a new person, and I don't know if I can trust you yet.
Fair enough.
Smart. Fuck that guy.
So, as you can clearly see, Bizelk is currently trapped in like an iron cage, crudely made, but still strong enough that it holds him pretty firmly in the cage. On top of 1,000 gold, you also find a bag of holding.
Rayla, would you look at this? Zinrod and I already have one each, so you're more than welcome to this bag of holding.
Okay, I will gladly take it.
As for you, my name is Acteza, and you are?
I wasn't mean to. Bizelk.
Bizelk. Would you like to join our merry band? We're actually looking for another of our member. You haven't happened to see a large dragon. I mean, I say large. She's actually fairly young, so medium-ish dragon.
Pretty sure I would know if I've seen a dragon around here. I've seen these dingy walls.
Well, I'm sure you heard her not too long ago, but I'm inclined to let you out of this here cage, but you are eyeing me a little bit suspiciously.
Yeah, I don't like how you're eyeing us. I don't know if I want to let you out of the cage.
You see Bizelk kind of crane his neck, and when he like reopens his eyes, they're kind of more back to normal. Sorry, it's a problem.
Well, I mean, pretty sure everyone in our group's got some sort of problem. We had a drunk minotaur for a little while, and then she would begin unlocking the cage.
As you approach the cage, you see Bizelk kind of lunch back a little bit,
Well, I tend not to attack things unless they're actively attacking me, but I understand the feeling if you've been with this bunch of goblins. That Kilgore asshat wasn't overly friendly.
I've been alone for a long time. Little trust.
I think you and our friend Sakira will get along great. Do I need to roll anything to open this cage, DM?
No. If you are
Oh,
trying
I've got the
with
keys, I think.
yeah, if you're trying with the keys you had picked up, I would say you successfully open the cage after a couple tries with different keys.
Perfect.
As you open the cage, you see Bizelk stand up and stretch. As you see, he's about 6'7". As he stretches out, almost very cat-like. Much
You
better.
are tall indeed.
How tall is your character?
That's 6'7".
Damn, yeah.
Well,
Rayleigh's now feeling a little intimidated because she is on the smaller side. It's kind of that.
before they put you in the cage here, did you happen to get any kind of mapping? I say mapping. Any inclination of the different corridors of the rest of the dungeon here? We came from this way back here, which was Kilgore's, but we haven't explored any deeper in this direction.
Fortunately, I wasn't able to. A lot of my sight was blocked.
It makes sense. I'm actually impressed that the goblins thought that far ahead.
Sorry, I was looking at Messenger. I was like, what is happening? No, you don't really remember much when they brought you in. You were mostly unconscious when they dragged you in.
Looking for a friend of yours?
The dragon would be the main one, but also looking to see if there's something in the dungeon that would have activated. She could have just disappeared, so...
That's odd.
I mean, it could also be her mom, kind of like the dragon god, so, I mean, that could have been, but we don't know at the moment.
Can I roll some sort of like nature check to see if maybe like I can sniff them out if they have like a piece of clothing or something that she might have had?
Sure.
Alright, let's see here. I might be able to try to find her. You have anything that might smell like her?
Not on my person, but we do have some back at the shard if we need to go there.
I think that she's a dragon. Has a fairly distinct smell. Let's see if I can pick anything up. And, 15.
You smell some lingering scents, mainly coming off of Rayla and Acteza, but nothing strong enough to indicate that this person is, or dragon is, within the vicinity.
Well, what I can tell you, she's not close. Might be looking for a while.
Well, might as well finish looking here before we head back to the shard. And then we'll make our way back to turn in our quest for the guild. Oh yeah, I guess I skipped over some of the formalities. We were in here because the guild had a quest to help alleviate some goblin problem for the nearby village. It's taken us a little bit of time, but we've finally fulfilled the parameters of it.
See Bizelk look a little bit confused when you talk about the guild, but it just kind of leaves it be.
Interesting. Acteza will kind of notice that you're not familiar, which is kind of surprising to her because the guild is very well known in any major city. So kind of pieces together that you probably haven't been around. On top of you saying you've been alone for a while, that you probably haven't been around civilized society. Rayla, what do you think? Which way should we head from
Sorry,
here?
you say something? My mic was cutting out.
What was the last thing you heard? I guess.
You being surprised about Bizelk being confused about the guild.
Oh, internally, she's kind of pieced together that obviously you haven't been around civilized society because the guild is pretty much in any common or major city in this plane.
Okay.
Because they actively hand out quests for adventurers to fix problems for nearby farming villages and those types of things. So it should be, if you've ever been in a town, you would have encountered the guild or major town.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you all can remember that there is the other paths you have not ventured yet. Just for time's sake, the ones leading up above Bizelk here, these all you can clearly see just lead to a dead end. They all just kind of end at a round kind of cave wall, leading no further. It looks like they were trying to expand these tunnels, but nothing really came to fruition as they were stopped.
So you said
So,
the ones up top kind of just end.
yeah, they just end. Not only because that's the end of the map, but also just because the cave kind of ends here.
Right.
You can tell that they were digging. There are some shovels as if to expand their operations, but as I said, you all have stopped that in its tracks.
So being a systematic type of mind, I assume Acteza kind of works in a clockwise manner, so eventually ending up over here.
Sure, and you can all move your characters however they would move.
I'm gonna follow.
As you peer into this room, all you see, it looks like a training room of sorts. There's a bunch of arrows just stacked on top of each other, about a stack of 100 arrows. There's targets that have been shot up and slashed with swords, as well as some hay and just other kind of supplies that they've just been kind of beating into. You can notice it looks like there's a wraparound section here, as well as a tunnel that goes this way. Rayla being in view, you can kind of notice right here that looks like a storage closet. It looks like they just kind of thrown miscellaneous crap, either stuff they didn't really care about or just shit or anything. Actually, speaking of shit, it looks like this is also where they took bathroom breaks, as there are a couple of piss and shit buckets on the floor.
Where's my token at?
Oh, your token's been here the whole time. I just forgot to make it visible.
Oh.
I was kind of wondering that too. I was like, I feel like we're missing someone.
There you go.
Um, Acteza's going to open up a portal to the shard
Okay.
to have one of the kobolds take all the training gear and put it into the shard.
Yeah, you just see Bizelk, you see Acteza open this not large portal, but about a 10-foot wide portal, and on the other side of it, it looks like just space. As you see, just a kind of like a gathering of kobolds, all wearing. Have you seen Bleach?
Yeah.
They're all wearing like a spada type get-ups, and they are all purple amethyst kobolds. Their horns, some intact, but some are broken with floating gems, as they all have a singular purple gem floating at their forehead. You see about 5 goblins enter the area, and they just kind of give a bow to Acteza, and they just start kind of gathering up the equipment in this area.
Skexel. Zenrod hasn't happened to come back to the shard, has she?
No, Skexel, sorry. He hasn't seen Zenrot. I thought Zenrot with you.
She just poofed away. So
What?
exactly. It doesn't seem to be sinister in nature when I did my Arcana check, so I assume if she's not here at the shard, that she may be having a meeting with one of the dragons.
It's at this point, it's been a couple of hours have passed by as you all kind of hear a whoosh as Zenrot reappears next to you all.
And I'm back.
I assume that's the person you were looking for.
She looks down at Bizelk and just goes, "You guys brought me lunch?"
I was gonna say we have a new member to our party,
Oh.
but as she kind of like looks back at Bizelk, I feel like he would have been a little bit tougher to eat to begin with.
You see Bizelk, as soon as you say lunch, see him crouch down and kind of his eyes focusing in on you.
Oh, she puffs up. She starts to get kind of big and gets on her feet. She has I'm at, what size am I at?
You're
Yeah.
large.
I'm large. She has, her upper scales are purple, while her lower body, the soft part, is more of a white. She has 2 square U-shaped horns that follow the length of her face going through her snout. But her left horn is halfway missing. The diagonal cut matches the same spot where her second left eye is blind. She has 4 eyes in total. Her head has amethyst plating, like 3 layers that you can see. Her teeth are a purple amethyst, while her face itself is more of a white. And she actually has a large sword that's strapped to her side as she puffs her chest up and looks at you.
If you remember, you cast that sword off.
Cast that sword off?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
When you went and did that thing that we did, you threw your sword off.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Then she just puffs up and she spreads her large white wings and just looks down at him.
You seem crouched down more, but not necessarily as a scared posture. But it almost looks like is pretty much just a really pissed off cat. The way that he's kind of like crouched down and standing.
Zenrod, you could relax. He was imprisoned here, so from everything that we've kind of pieced together, he hasn't been around other people very often, so he tends to be a little skittish.
She squints as she kind of puffs. Sorry, I had to deal with something cosmic. Anyway, did you guys find any extra gold or anything?
Yes.
Acteza will hand you 250 of the 1,000 gold that we acquired.
How much?
250. And she'll kind of turn back and whisper to Bizelk, I told you, being vague is exactly what this party's all about.
Guess I won't have to talk much.
She just whistles for the kobolds to go grab the gold and add it to the pile.
You see 3 more kobolds just kind of come out and take the gold.
Things seem different. Interesting. And she just kind of walk into the portal.
Okay. What is everybody else doing?
I think we've just got 2 rooms left to explore here.
Yeah, revealed everywhere you basically have already found and explored.
I'm gonna go down this one.
Okay. As you go down that path, it leads right into what looks to be a barracks, sleeping quarters. There's a lot of beds, not super well made, but enough to fit a large portion of people at a time to sleep. As you can also see a path leading down the hallway.
Back to where we've already been. I guess before heading back up to that last room up top, Acteza will adventure down to here.
Okay. As you kind of come around the corner, you can see what looks to be like a poker table. There's tossed over stools and chairs. This is what you can surmise to be the area the goblins had come through as the ruckus is made. As you see, like a game halfway done, with chips and gems and gold still laying on the table, a pot still in play. As you come up to a wooden door at your front, Acteza, it's actually cracked open a little bit.
Trying to be inconspicuous, Acteza will kind of like peer in through the crack to see if there's anything.
Sure.
Can I sneak in or sneak in to look as a rogue? I can.
You want to stealth it up?
Sure.
Stealth it.
Sure.
That's a 24.
Oh yeah, you're definitely sneaking.
Sweet, I'm gonna sneak into the room.
As you kind of enter, you don't find anybody inside the room. It looks like just somebody's quarters, somebody more important at least.
Well, since I don't see anyone in there, I talk back to them. Say, come in. There's no one in here.
Perfect. We're gonna look for things.
We're gonna look for loot.
Roll me an investigation check just to see how well the process goes, and I'd say at advantage, whoever wants to roll, since there's 3 people kind of looking around.
I got a 22 before we were deciding only one person was rolling.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're doing the rolling then.
Got a 19.
Okay. You all scour through the room. You all come across about 50 gold pieces more, a mix of just gold and gems. For the most part, you don't find much outside of that. You find some tea that had been brewed at one point, but is now kind of cold. It looks about halfway consumed. A bed messily made, as well as just some slippers and a fireplace that's been roaring for just a while. It's almost died out at this point, given the hours. you see what looks to be a tome with some spells, most just cantrips at the most part. And this looks to be the room the mage was residing in.
Acteza would make a point of grabbing the tome for Sakira, and
Sure.
then kind of just same thing we did with the other room, having the kobolds kind of take any valuable pieces back, like the beds, the poker table for Skexel,
Sure.
and basically just trying to add to our amenities at the shard.
Sure. You see about 15 kobolds come in together and just hoist up this large poker table all round. All the cards kind of slide off. They do pick up all the gold in both rooms as they transport both the table, some stools, as well as the bed and some chests and things. All of these will be kind of furnished outside your houses for you all to take. Not in your house. They kind of will pile it up outside for the party to decide what to do. But they grab pretty much everything.
All right. Well, there's only the one room left before heading back to the shard, so Acteza will kind of loop her way back up to there.
Sure. Give me just a second.
You're like, roll for initiative. Fuck.
No, I don't want to die.
Nope.
It's like a troll
Bizelk,
sleeps.
you're in front.
As you come into this room, you just
Oh,
see
there
that
it
large
is.
spider in its lair. You see some bones of dead corpses, just kind of an old webbing that's now fallen to the ground. It just kind of looks at you all, clicking its teeth, just each eye just blinking slowly. All 8 of them.
Hello.
I have trapped you as well, my friend.
It is not trapped.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
No, it was
So,
one.
it's
It was one of the
actually-
goblin's pets. I'm trying to remember the fucking name because we named.
It was one
named.
of the. It was the orc captain's pet, if you remember right. And it actually has some armor on its leggings as well as on its thorax.
Well, I'm
Ah.
not a big fan of spiders. Do you want to join our crew now too? Spider friend.
It just stares at you.
Perfect.
Bizelk will kind of go up front a little bit, and was like, kind of very softly, like, "Do you want to join us?"
Animal handling check.
14.
It just kind of looks at you blinkily. It doesn't seem threatened, at least, you can tell.
Bizelk will cautiously walk up to it.
It was like one of those movie scenes where the guy who's too trusting then just gets swallowed up in like one gulp. Everyone's like, "Holy shit!"
As Bizelk is walking up, Acteza's gonna open up a portal and call out, "Zenrot, do you want another friend?"
Zenrot pops out of her head pops out of the portal. Friend, what do you mean, my friends?
We've got a large spider. I don't remember what its name was. It was the one the orc captain sent away after we tricked him into believing we were goblins.
Oh, so you're like trying to tame it?
I think that's what Bizelk is doing.
As you say that, you kind of see Bizelk slowly reach its hand out to the spider, not touching it, just kind of inviting it to sense the pheromones, I guess.
Yeah, its
Like stuff.
pincers just kind of rub against your hand now, as it's not really like tasting you in a way, but also feeling you in a way. I don't really know spiders that well, but it's like just it's rubbing on your hand.
Sensing me.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm fine with it as long as it doesn't eat the kobolds.
Bizelk, I think it's yours. Sakira should be able to assist you. She can speak with animals.
Who?
Well, she's back on the shard. She kind of left right after we took out Kilgore. She's a little morbid, but mostly a good time.
All the kobolds nod their head.
And this is like, Bizelk's like, okay, I guess. As he's just now petting the spider.
Well, unless the rest of you have something else you'd like to do here, I think I'm ready for a nice bath and a good book.
Agreed. And Zinrad's already like going into the hot springs.
Give me one more animal handling check to see if you can persuade the spider to come with you.
Okay. 22.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, the spider just kind of follows you along, almost like you don't grab, like you kind of grab onto one of his legs, kind of tugging on it, and it just slowly walks after you into the portal.
Fuck yeah. Now you get to name it.
God, me and the damn spiders with the damn
Yeah, every fucking time. Every time I put up an animal or something that could be a pet, the party is taking it. So y'all have 2 wargs, 21 kobolds, and a fucking giant spider.
Yes.
So, real quick, a description of the shard. As you come through this 10-foot wide portal, and I'd say the portal, it has a purple translucent kind of outline, kind of think of Rick and Morty's portal, but purple, except the center is almost like a mirror that you can see through. It's like you can see it shimmers like a water surface, but you can see past it into the shard. As you come into the shard, kind of tugging the spider, both you and the spider, well, the spider you can't really tell, but the spider is also kind of not freaking out, but concerned. As you are now in outer space, in front of you is the black void of airless nothingness. All you see are large stars, and actually, you see a black hole far in the distance with a star wrapping around it. You know, kind of spiraling into it as it's getting sucked in, kind of like a spiral, like a black hole with a fiery swirl around it. You see all kinds of stars and planets just far off into the distance. As you take in what you're standing on, you're actually standing on, imagine a cliff face, a large cliff face. About the dimensions keep changing. I got to write these down at some point, or somebody keep track of them. It's about 50-foot long cliff face of white sand, and I mean white sandy beach, like real clean, pure white sand, that is then surrounded by an edge of black obsidian rock with some amethyst gems poking out of it, very small, but they are there. As it wraps around, it then connects into this asteroid, a large obsidian black asteroid. I think I placed it about a mile tall from tip to tip and about half a mile long from width. You see a waterfall of glistening black water with reflecting the stars on it as it kind of like splits apart, almost like a sliding door, kind of magically opening for the party members. As you see Zinrat just kind of walking down with her horde of kobolds carrying treasure alongside her. You see Acteza following behind her with Rayla as they just seem at home here. You feel safe. You don't feel like, you can clearly tell that this seems to be their hiding spot on the edge of the known universe. As they all walk down into the cave, you too are greeted by this waterfall that closed up at first, but as you get near with your spider, opens up, welcoming you, as the pool of water that would form where this waterfall lands actually streams down into down 2 waterways on the wall edges of the cave entrance. Going down about, I'd say, towards the center of the asteroid, like perfect center. I don't know how far that is, but it's a good little walk. It's down, not a steep incline, but you eventually, after going down a just straight path into this cave, you reach another, not waterfall, but an opening where the water on both sides is now pooled into what looks like bathhouses. Or really only one is a bathhouse. The other one's just decoration at this point. As you can see, Zenrot is now sitting in this water as the kobolds are all heating it up. It's now like a anime style bathhouse as Zenrot's just relaxing in it after this adventure. You see on your right side of this bathhouse a wooden cabin that's built into the side of this cave, asteroid cave, and what presumably you can tell is Acteza's abode is what this is. Yes, this all came from a wish. By the way, this came from like 2 or 3 wishes in total. Is a cabin, and it has a couple of rocking chairs or like some outside furniture for lounging. And then if you ever enter, I'll let Acteza take it from there, as well as some other rock-formed cabins adorning next to it, almost kind of like bungalows, I guess you could say, or like apartment buildings. Every couple of feet, there's another stone cottage. Only 2 of them, though, that you can see some kobolds are surrounding, taking care of somebody you can only presume to be another party member, and then another abode that you can presume to belong to Rayla. In the center of this asteroid, there is a cutout that goes down, not to the bottom of the asteroid, but I would say a good 50 feet down. And in it is just a ton of gold, surmising to the amount of 1 million, or at least in your head, it's so much it's easily you think it's 1 million gold. On top of it, there is a clear, what looks like a dog bed, just made out of gold, that you can only assume belongs to a dragon, as this looks like a dragon's hoard. As you look around, the top of this cave, there is a chandelier-like structure made entirely of amethyst, large. Just it looks like the heart of this structure. Like if there's magical energy belonging to this structure or realm, is really what it is. It's that. It is like the heart, the beating heart of this place. It is large. It weighs. It looks like it weighs at least a couple of tons if it came crashing down. Around the walls of this place, there are amethyst gems growing out of the walls, and that is it.
And
God, I don't have
then
to describe this much more.
Yeah, Zenrod's head is just sticking out from the hot springs. The water itself is purple with like galaxy stars kind of going through it, like it's a reflection of the cosmos. It's all bubbly.
Well, I can certainly say I've never seen anything like this before.
Well,
Yes, it's quite fascinating, isn't it? As you're greeted by a dragonborn, actually, with wings on its back. Unlike any other dragonborn you know, I will say, even though you have limited knowledge, you have basic enough knowledge to know that dragonborns never have wings, but this one does. It's a different standing. You can presume it's a different standing or a more pure form of a dragonborn, as they introduce themselves as Skexel, the treasurer and operation manager of the kobolds, as you then see 20 kobolds with him.
At least I can see why you're calling this place the Shard.
yes, the shard.
Isn't Bizelk just kind of at a loss for words? Just trying to take in all of this. This very much outside of his comfort zone.
Welcome to the all wonderful cosmos. You're welcome.
No offense, but I definitely prefer the woods.
Interesting. Anyway, I must do something, if you don't mind. I have one more wish spell I wish to use.
Okay.
She's gonna say some words in Draconic as her three of her 4 eyes are gonna glow purple as she spreads her wings. And she's going to whisper to herself right after she says out loud, I wish for... And then she whispers it. I messaged it to you.
Okay. Nothing happens for a time. Until finally, with a little bit of shimmering light, a necklace falls to the top of your dragon horde. But it's not long before you pass out, as you can feel a grinding pain, as it feels as if half your soul was ripped apart. You come to not long after. I'd say it tops 15 minutes.
Huh. That was more painful than I thought it would be.
Interesting. You okay? Is it not?
I don't know if okay is the word to use, but necessary. She kind of gets out of the water and she starts to make her way towards her her horde as she makes like a trail with her tail going downwards.
Yeah, she does this, but Bizelk, you're kind of hit with some water. It feels warm, nothing too hot.
So, where will I be staying?
Yeah.
Almost as if to time it exactly, Acteza is working her way back down from the cabin. She had gone in to get like a shower caddy sort of thing to hit the hot springs. Well, until the kobolds have a chance to carve out another abode, you could crash in my cabin, or if you'd prefer a cabin, we might be able to piece together enough wood from what we salvaged from the goblin hold. But once again, it'll take some time for the kobolds to piece everything together.
Almost like a blink, you turn to look at. You were looking at some of the kobolds as this conversation happened, and you look back, and they're all holding hammer and chisels.
I'm good with staying with you for now.
They just get to work. You just see them all kind of just. You hear almost like dwarven work. You just hear a bunch of mining and chiseling going on. As actually you're greeted by a little bit taller of a kobold. He looks to be wearing like a espada gear, kind of like one of the numbered ones. And he looks at you. Greetings, my name is Zezel. I am the head butler. As for your abode, we will be adding in a king-sized bed, a nightstand, as well as a living room and some furniture. Is there a theme you would like for this abode?
I mean, if anything, probably foresty.
Right away, and you see him kind of go and start barking orders. More bark and tree leaves.
Just kind of looks around. It's like, I assume they're not slaves.
Acteza kind of she kind of rubs her brow for a little bit, trying to find the right words. Says, if the word you're looking for if we're looking at slaves in the definition of like, did we imprison them? The answer is no. But their sole purpose is to serve Zenrat, and they came with the shard when she wished for it.
Skexel's just kind of nodding to this. Yes, yes, they serve and they like to do so. Just like any other dragon, they seek protection in those who have greater power. Kobolds love to serve dragons, just as I do. So that's what they like to do. Besides, we get 3 square meals a day, we have protection and a nice home, and now we have poker.
Yes.
As you can see, the poker table's kind of been already set up, and there's like a station to the left near the hot springs, almost like a servant's quarters. It's not actually been carved into the wall yet. They've been busy helping the party, so they just have like a bunch of like kind of bedrolls made up on the ground, kind of encircling this fire area, like a fire pit. And now they also have a poker table to the side of the fire pit where there's about 3 or 4 kobolds on their lunch break, who are eating some delicious meat as they're playing a round of poker. And they one of them actually offers you a plate. Well, it looks like you're staying here a while. Would you like some food?
The plates offered to me, see Bizelk just kind of immediately snatch the plate and starts engulfing the food. Not very, just very unceremoniously, just devouring it.
Okay. They offer. You actually see the wargs now running around. Because before I forget, you also see the wargs are just kind of running around. Really just keeping each other entertained. As the giant spider's given a raw piece of meat to eat. As I guess it sucks the blood out of the meat. I don't know.
Dissolve the meat into like a pocket of web.
Yeah, basically, it kind of just starts kind of munching on that. The spider's kind of already found a nest on part of the ceiling. It's just kind of made a little web.
Sidnot's gonna call for Skexel to meet her at the Horde.
He does.
She's holding the necklace she wished for. The chain itself is made of what looks like to be like almost like the purest white gold possible. Very sharp angles as it links up. The bottom piece itself, it shows a dragon's head with between its mouth is a gem that is just glowing so bright you can't really see what it looks like, as all of it's made out of really pure white gold. Skexel, I need you to do me a favor.
Anything, mistress.
I need you to make a small lockbox out of the asteroid. And she kind of taps her claw on it, but underneath my Horde. So I basically want you to make a square hole in the ground and add a lid made out of the same material as this, and place this necklace here to make it part of my Horde and the most protected part.
Right away. We have plenty of rock to do so. As him and like two other kobolds just kind of start making this happen. I would say it'll probably take a few days for them to make a very sturdy kind of safe to put it in.
She'll hand Skexel the necklace. You and only you I trust this to, and the only key to that will be trusted to me, correct?
Of course, you on my life.
And make sure it's at the bottom of my Horde. As she pats him on the head before going back to the hot spring.
He just kind of blushes from that. Right away. And they continue on their work. If anybody is paying attention at this time and notices the necklace, feel free to make an Arcana check. If not, we'll continue on.
Yeah, I don't think Acteza would be anywhere near it at that point. She would have uh, kind of left Bizelk to it as she went down to hit the hot spring.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask. Since this has been the trend so far, did you come out naked?
Acteza is the exact opposite of everybody else. So like she's got
Ah,
like the shower caddy with like an actual towel and everything to head down.
gotcha. And we haven't heard from Rayla in quite some time. What are you up to, Rayla?
I've just been chilling in the hot spring.
Oh,
Naked.
okay. Oh, okay. So you, yeah, during this time, Rayla just comes out naked and joins you in the hot spring.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Sakira is coming down with like 4 other kobolds naked as well.
Yeah, you just all hear the motions of the oceans, as you can assume that Sakira has regained consciousness but is not healed yet, so she is busy in her form of healing.
Zinra's gonna put her head kind of next to her mom while she's relaxing the hot spring with her. Hi, mother.
Howdy. You
How are you?
well, I mean, feeling better now in the hot springs. You want to share where you went off to?
Oh, as probably one thing you could tell is she's not being as hyper as she was before she kind of teleported. Well, I met someone who serves my mom. Oh, wait, was it my dad? It was my dad. And they showed me, well, not my dad, this man. This, I had a good nickname for him. What was it? They helped me realize what my true magic is. And made me realize what I really want to be. And she kind of like lays her head down a little closer and she kind of looks down at Acteza with her two side eyes.
Well, you don't have to be overly specific, but do you want to elaborate? Or is it a conversation for later?
It's fine. My perspective has changed on some things, Mother. And being a child was fun while it lasted, but things do change, don't they? I know what I want to be, and I know where I want to go. I want to stand above these celestials.
Meta-wise, wasn't it your goal beforehand?
Oh, no. Her goal was just to replace her dad as a god, but she wants to be a lot more than that.
Oh, okay. Well, that seems fairly ambitious and should keep you busy.
As a
Yeah.
Bizelk comes over. Replace these celestials?
She kind of looks down at you. I know. I've realized to understand the difference between my perspective compared to your perspective of reality and life itself. But I think it's an admirable goal. She kind of looks up at the top of the cave. I think it's admirable.
Almost an anime style, kind of like when they see like in their head a person that like their mentor. You just see Gallius just giving you a thumbs up. Aha!
She looks back down and she does see Bizelk, but she more addresses Acteza. Would you help me?
I don't see why not. But like I said, it is very ambitious. We're already having to jump through hurdles to free my father, who is a celestial.
Lesser. He's a god, not a celestial.
Got it.
We will figure it out. One step at a time. But tomorrow I do need to head into the city, Mother. There's things I need to take care of. Some things I need to set in motion.
Well, I think that was our plan, was to head back to town anyways. We needed to turn in our quest to the guild. Or quests, right? We completed 2, right? The goblin and the one before that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mother, what's your last name?
I have none.
I'm gonna give us a last name. Are you okay with that?
Oh.
If you're using it as an alias, it's fine. I kind of like the concept of not having a last name. Kind of in line with the gods, where it is just the single name is powerful enough.
I'm going to create a noble family that we can use as a front.
Well, just to be clear, I'm not overly great at lying, so if you're trying to have me in on this whole thing, probably keep me to a minimal as far as your lies go.
You're my mother. That's all I need. And she'll kind of go back into the water, like all the way, like emerging her whole head as she kind of like disappears at the bottom.
Does the Bizelk leans over to Acteza a little bit? Are you actually her mother?
You see
thinking of how that would work.
You see a sideways smirk. No, but
The childbirth was horrendous.
Yeah, it's like, how are you walking?
But she adopted me as her mother. Because you're only 50, right, Zenrot?
No, I'm 60.
60. Because of my age and time in this world, she viewed me as someone that could take care of her. She's very young for a dragon.
Yeah, kind of see Bizelk, like, his fingers are in the air, just kind of like trying to comprehend everything that he just heard from Zenrot wanting to take over Celestials, your father being a god. Just like, this group is strange.
Feel like you could roll a religion or history check to see if you can remember more.
Let's do a religion.
Zenrot's gonna poke her mouth just slightly out of the water and say, "Hotter, please." Just her mouth goes back down.
That's a big ol' 8.
You don't really know who specifically the gods they are talking about, but you do know the Celestials are like the big 3 that like started the universe. Below them are just like the greater gods, the lesser gods, and the demigods. But outside of that, that's the farthest your knowledge remembers.
It's gonna be interesting with you guys. Might stay around a while.
I'm sure you'll find that it's never a dull moment with us.
Zenrot's gonna pop her mouth out and request the kobolds to heat up the hot springs more.
And they do so, all kind of like bellowing out some small flames, about 4 or 5. It takes about 4 or 5 in tandem to kind of heat up the water. They only can kind of produce a lighter sized flame.
And she's gonna go to sleep down there.
And beforehand, Acteza, you're actually tapped on the shoulder by one of the kobolds. Excuse me.
Yes.
There's been a guest here waiting for you for a little while since y'all been gone.
Interesting. At this point, I would say probably not long after Octizo or Zenrod had asked for the hot springs to be warm, she would have got her fill of it and gone up to kind of get into leisure attire, kind of for reading. So I would say she's actually up at her cabin at this point.
Yeah, it's that. If you follow the goblin, they'll kind of lead you to this creature. The goblin kind of tells you, yeah, so they're not really talking to us. I guess they're not hostile because they were able to get in here. They kind of just floated in from space.
Lead the way.
He takes you out to like the balcony, and even though there's no like kind of wind, it's still chilly enough, even like in your pajamas or nightgown, that you feel a little nip of the air. But he leads you outside, and at first there's nothing, and the kobold's kind of scratched in the back of his head. He's like, "I swear, I'm not lying. It was here a moment ago." And then after some time passes, you begin to think, well, this was just some kind of prank going on. That you get like a tap on your head, and as you turn around to look, you're greeted by nothing you've ever seen before, but it also feels familiar to you given your lineage. And if you look in the message chat, this is what's kind of looking at you.
What
It's
the
a
fuck?
it's a tiny little creature.
It's adorable.
It's so cute.
Actually, it's a octopus. As you can see, all 8 of its tails kind of like, or tentacles, I mean, it's like flying in the air, but it's kind of propelling itself by like how an octopus goes through the water.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's got little, it looks like ears, but fins kind of flapping on top. And it just makes like a little squeaky noise. It's teeny. It's about the size of, trying to think,
Like the little
maybe
things
a
from
softball.
yeah, like the from Avatar.
Yeah, no, not that small. It's about the size of like a softball, maybe a little bit bigger. As it's just kind of looking at you with large, kind of puppy dog eyes almost.
Well, hello there. What brings you to our shard?
It just gives out a squeak, and actually, it touches you once again if you'll let it.
At this point, she doesn't have a reason to not or to resist. So
It touches you once more, like on the forehead, and it and in an almost imagery kind of way of talking to you, you see an image of your father, and then an image of the great old one. And then it just kind of continues to float there.
do you have a message from my father? Is that why you're here?
It does a spin, kind of like twirling its tentacles around.
Proceed.
Uh,
I assume it was going to
At
do
this
the
point-
sensory sort of thing again.
yeah, it gives you another tap on the shoulder, and or not shoulder, the forehead. And you would expect it to be slimy, and it might have a little bit of sliminess to it, but not enough to leave anything on your like skin when it touches you. But you can feel like a almost kind of like a warm. It drags its tentacle kind of across your face, tickling even a bit. As then another image of your father kind of shows up, and I guess I don't know if you would know their language. Do you know Abyssal, or I forget what language I went with them?
I've got Abyssal, Celestial, Elvish, and Primordial.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Abyssal. Um, as you cannot hear your father, you hear your father talk to this creature. Go and find my daughter. Deliver her a message that I want her to know. There's a great and evil army out in the universe seeking to destroy everything we know. It holds me captive. She must prepare. Stay by her side. Go, little one. As the image kind of fades, the creature now just kind of stares at you. And as like meta purposes here, this can count as a familiar for you or a secondary familiar.
I guess the question would be, would I be able to attack with this one if I kept it as a secondary? Because I can't do that with Morgar.
It will count the same as a familiar, and it for purposes it can cast a range spells up to first level currently.
Cool. So it's slightly better than Morgar as far as utility.
It's a little bit, yep.
Okay. Yep. Definitely keep it. Is it already named? Would my father have referred to it by a name whenever he sent it?
All you heard was little one, but that was it. So from what you can tell, no name.
All right. Well, it looks like you're staying with me. Did my father give any additional details on this army, or is it left vague? I know that our communications are limited, so he probably had to leave it fairly vague.
Yeah. When he touched you, you can kind of tell that this was almost like your father had enough strength to send this message out in his imprisonment, but that was about all the info he could get out to this creature. As the creature just kind of gives a small sputter of like ink, as it doesn't do any happy noises.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, pieces of the puzzle, right? Because I had pieced together from a previous vision or something that one of the dragons that was hunting Zenrot was also in cahoots with holding my dad captive, so the plot thickens. Let's see.
Here's like a better imagery for how the creature moves and acts, just for knowledge.
What shall we call you? Kind of liked. Why don't we go with Tellero? Why don't you come with me? I'll need to rest before I can resummon Morgar, but we'll get you another friend as we figure out what else we're going to do about the all these celestial these gods, this army, these evil dragons. Let's take it one step at a time. And she's gonna head back to her cabin to relax with a book.
And with just its swimming motion, it follows you along. I was trying to think of another word, but we'll just go with a swimming motion. The octopus kind of follows you along, and it will just kind of, it sleeps floating just kind of near your bed, almost in a hovering motion as it kind of just it almost like in the idle stance. It just slowly turns to kind of keep itself afloat. Is there anything else anybody else would like to do? Is there anything else anybody else would like to do before we finish this long rest? Okay.
Rayla's gonna get out of the hot spring and go to her house to sleep.
Okay. All the kobolds just bid you a good night's sleep as you leave the hot spring. Zinrod is already sound asleep, and you drift off easily, being relaxed. All right. So, you all are able to sleep pretty peacefully throughout the night. Whether or not you were able to, Bizelk, being in an unfamiliar environment, you still are able to get enough sleep to feel at least rested. Who would be the first to wake up this morning, or are we all just re-adjourning at the same time?
Um, I would say Acteza's probably early to rise so she can complete the summoning for Morgar.
Okay.
Bizelk, what you would have experienced for the night. So the log cabin is kind of homey. Basically, two of the walls are just are kind of like mainly covered by bookcases. There's kind of like a little kitchenette area, and then it's kind of like a. I'm assuming you've probably seen like a studio apartment sort of set up before, where it's like there's like a partition for like the sleeping area, but there's not much separating it.
There's not much, yeah.
She would have set up a cot for you there, on the other side of the wall. So basically, like right next to a bookcase. It kind of has like this. There's a little fireplace, so it's kind of like this warm, crackling sound throughout the evening, and then kind of like the smell of like the library is kind of what you get.
Yeah. Okay. Bizelk will probably also wake up pretty early. He's not sleeping well, completely new environment with people he doesn't fully trust yet.
Okay. Say that one more time. Sorry, I was pulling up.
I said, Bizelk probably woke up pretty early as well, just kind of wandering the shard a little bit.
Sure. As you wander the shard, you do notice some more things as you kind of come across a meat locker, but it's not like in its own little alcove. It's starting to be. They've kobolds, as y'all have been away for quite some time, they've started their own little project of there's some shelving on the wall of the cave that is holding some meat, and they've started to like open that up into a form of meat locker. And that's only because as you touch the side of the cave, it is very cold. Given that this meteor, or I guess small planet, is kind of, or shard, is floating in space, the sides of this shard do stay very cold, enough to keep things frozen like a freezer.
Okay.
Outside of that, you're mainly just greeted by kobolds. Some of the wargs are just kind of looking at you, just.
I walk by, I just kind of like pet the wargs. Definitely seem more comfortable with the animals.
All right. Who would be next to wake up at this point?
Zinrot will slowly come out of the waters. She'll come out to where her tail is slightly outside of where she like shakes up like all the water off of her.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Morning.
Were you under there all night?
Yes.
Do you breathe on? Are you able to breathe underwater?
Am I? Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Yes, I do. But I don't have gills. I'm a little bit different.
Guys keep getting stranger and stranger the more I learn.
And right as he says that, this like almost like stardust type of magic starts to kind of swirl around Zinrot as she transforms. I'm just gonna be lazy. I don't have a drawing. She transforms into the one on the left-hand side. But she's about 16 to 18 years old, kind of look.
going to prove? And as Bizelk just kind of walks away.
Her left eye has the scar from her actual dragon eye, so her left eye's closed. I need to go into the city today. I don't know if anyone wishes to come with me.
I think we were all heading in, Zenrot. I just need to finish breakfast and the summoning of Morgar since he unfortunately dissipated in our last encounter.
Ah.
You guys say that that you'll be going into the city. You see Bizelk kind of cover up the markings on his cheek a little bit with dirt.
And what do the markings look like?
They're just kind of, think about like Naruto's like whisker markings.
Ah, okay. I like it. I like it. And
Just kind of
Rayla,
covers
what are you
it.
doing? Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh, that was up.
Rayla, what are you doing as you wake up this morning?
I'm gonna come out and eat some breakfast. I didn't hear the conversation about going to the city, and I do say that I'm gonna go ahead and go into the city as well.
The kobolds have already prepared breakfast as they made not a buffet kind of style, but of like some pancakes and eggs, bacon, just your classical kind of breakfast.
She's gonna go up to one of. She's gonna look for the nearest kobold.
Sure.
She's gonna walk over to him and go, "You, I think you're gonna help me today."
Oh, it would be my pleasure.
You're going to be my assistant while I'm in the city.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel so special.
You should, as she gently pats his head.
Yeah, he turns to all the other kobolds and just.
She'll kind of eye the food, and I'm gonna wait till we get to the city to eat. I wish to try something different.
All right, well, I will try and complete this summon expeditiously. Over the next hour, she uses the components to complete the summon over the fire. As the summoning kind of comes to its conclusion, unlike the cat that you guys had all come to know Morgar to be, this time a sort of radiant spectral owl comes out. Kind of like the Avatar cycle, the Morgar shifts forms each time he's reborn. So
That's badass.
Is at this point that you notice the octopus as well, laying on Acteza's right shoulder.
New familiar, mother?
It seems my father wanted me, was warning us of an army that has him imprisoned, which I assume is in cahoots with, let me see if I've got this name written down, or if we left it vague. The same dragon that is hunting you was working to have Asgaroth, or no, not Asgaroth, Nuhu. Asatharoth?
Azatharoth?
Yes, Azatharoth.
Ah.
So I assume the army is in some form of relation to him. But we'll need additional data. But
Grandpa sent message, huh?
yeah, so I've called this little octopus Talaro.
Spell that for me, just for my notes.
Tellaro.
Talaro, okay.
She's gonna look over at Rayla and be like, Rayla, are you coming with us to the city?
I am.
Oh. Do you have any plans?
I don't know yet. We'll see what I feel like doing when we get there.
Well, you're welcome to follow me if you'd like.
Before heading out, Acteza would make sure to grab her book to return it, since we had checked it out.
Sure.
Since she had finished reading it.
During that whole hour that Acteza was doing that ritual, Zinrat would have gone over the information of what she's planning to do with the cobalt, so he was on the same page.
Okay. Just message me if it's anything pertinent I should know.
Will do.
Well, at that point, you all exit from the shard with a goal in mind to head towards the city. You all come out back into the place you had once left, which was the orc stronghold, in the exact spot the portal was summoned. As you come out, there are no orcs, no goblins, not even a sound of anything. Actually, some of the torches have burned out. It only can tell that there's nobody at home.
Where at?
In the orc stronghold, when you come back out, there's nobody in sight, and some of the torches have like burned out.
Do we have the ability to teleport? Oh, then I would have waited. I thought, weren't we able to open a portal? Is it only from where our last location was?
That's how we wished it.
That's how y'all wished it.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But we did leave the wagon at the entrance of the cave, so we just need to exit and get back to the wagon.
Okay, perfect. Zinra will start heading out, and she'll stay in her human form.
Sure. As y'all head out, you come by empty rooms. From the most part, you can tell that it looks like y'all have succeeded in just squashing this operation in total. It's not until you head to the wooden bridge that you notice it is completely collapsed, with no way to get across. What do you all do?
Oh shit! At that point, she's just going to transform into a dragon and basically carry everyone out.
Okay, I'd say just for size reference, you're about the size of a large horse, like a Clydesdale. Just for like carrying capacity as well. So you're able to carry about 2 to 3 people, just as long as they're not very heavy, across at a time. So you're able to carry just about everybody in one go.
Cool.
And you make it across. You all make your way back through this cave. It was a labyrinth as you walk through. It's longer than you had first remembered, and as you make your way out, you finally find your carriage. It had been about 2 days, and the carriage is not in the spot you left it, as the rams have just kind of pulled it along so they can eat and keep alive. So they kind of just pulled the carriage around a grassy area. As you can see, it's kind of gone in circles. There's no signs that they've been attacked or anything, luckily.
I'm gonna fly overhead just to make sure we don't get ambushed on the way. Does anyone wish to join me up top?
My feet are best suited on the ground.
You'll hear a hoot hoot as Morgar will circle up to kind of like follow you.
She'll look to Rayla. Walking or going in the clouds with me?
I will go in the clouds with you. That sounds fun.
She'll kind of kneel herself down to allow Rayla to climb aboard, along with what's the kobold's name that I have with me?
Something of a bitch. His name is Asher.
Asher, I like that. Okay, Asher here. Asher. Assistant. After they both step on, we're gonna fly up, and she's gonna go about maybe 100 feet in the air, and just start gliding.
All right. And I believe it was Acteza and Bizelk in the carriage, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, as you kind of take your leave out from the Orc stronghold, you make your way back towards the farmland, as that's really the only clear-cut pathway the carriage can fit through. You make your way back to Meyerfield, or not Meyerfield. Well, I guess yeah, Meyerfield, because that would be the only way to feasibly get back to Oman. You all make your way down to Meyerfield, and you all see at Meyerfield, I forgot his name. I think it was either Bob or something. Bruce, the chief of Meyerfield, just kind of standing out. He noticed you all and just gives you all a wave, not in really a manner to ask you to come there, but just acknowledgement of, hey, the people that saved our place. You all start to make your way to the, if you're looking at the map, to the east for the road heading to Oman, as you're actually kind of surprised to see a sizable caravan of just people making their way down the street towards Meyerfield.
Is Meyerfield the place that we saved?
Yes, that's the small like farmer village near Oman.
Can I roll a perception check?
Sure.
What do I see with the 14?
Can you give me a little more like what are you trying to?
I'm seeing if they're
suss out here?
seeing if they're friendly.
Yeah, as you can see, most of them, most of everybody's giving you a friendly smile.
Oh, I'm flying like 100 feet up. I see the caravan, so I'm checking out the
Oh,
caravan.
that's right, that's right. So from a bird's eye view, you just see the townsfolk. Nobody's really running, or there's no fires or anything going on. It seems like a peaceful day in Meyerfield. Though what you do see from a bird's eye view is it seems like just a wagon trail of people leaving Amman.
Should start flying faster towards Oman.
I will say it's about a 2-week journey.
Oh, it's a 2-week journey. Okay, no, then
It's
she
about
won't.
100 miles to Amman from Meyerfield.
She's gonna look for she's gonna look for like some stray cattle that she can kind of like pick up with a swoop and eat in the air.
There are some cattle. Most of them belong to the people in farmlands in Meyerfield, but you are able to pick up on a few wild oxen that or have either escaped or have just been nearby due to the local cows.
She'll kind of like tilt her head to look at Rayla. Hang on,
All right.
and she's gonna like nosedive to do
Strength check or strength saving throw actually for me, Rayla.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's an 8.
Oh boy. So Rayla, you go flying off the back of Zenrot. You are now plummeting or skydiving through the air without a parachute.
Oh, cool. Love this.
You all can hear the screaming of Rayla.
Zenrot's gonna use one of her level 2 spells is she'll use Vortex Warp to warp her into the back of Zenrot's claw.
Using Vortex Warp, you're able to like kind of pick her back up to your level in the sky as you just kind of grab back onto her arms.
She's gonna like look down and bend her long ass neck to look at Rayla upside down. I thought I said hang on.
You know, I tried it. I didn't do very good.
No, I'm just gonna carry you. You okay with that?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right, and then she continues to nosedive to go use her front 2 claws to grab something.
Sure, and you're grabbing at the oxen?
Yep.
Okay. Just make me a bite attack, I guess.
Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does hit. Just barely, though.
10 damage.
You're able to fatally wound this ox. You didn't kill it outright, but you've definitely, like, bitten into its... Wherever you bit into it, you've definitely fatally punctured it.
Yeah, and then she'll just fly up while carrying it in her mouth until it stops wiggling. And then she'll use her 2 front claws to hold the body while she eats it while flying.
Yeah, Acteza and Bizelk, you both watch as you just see your dragon friend or dragon daughter just kind of swoop down like an owl picking up a rodent. But the oxen matches her size to an extent, so with some heaving and hawing before it finally kills it, like dies off. She makes her way back up into the air some, as you see the chief just given like a what the hell just happened look.
Bizelk looks over at Acteza. You know, when you told me that she was a dragon at first, before I even saw her, I did not think you meant a literal dragon.
Well, you heard me tell her last night that I'm not very good at lying, so
I was just
for future
thinking you were
reference.
saying like dragonborn, like that. I was thinking more dragonborn, not dragon of myths and legends. That's again,
Yeah,
party gets more and more interesting.
definitely. In fact, she would probably transform into a girl for the town because she freaked the guild the fuck out last time we were there.
I can imagine.
Yes, don't see dragons very much in kingdoms. Actually, Bizelk, remembering of your early days of the people of your clan, yourself included, were considered apex predators. There wasn't many creatures that y'all wouldn't be able to tango with, even at like high magical ability. The clan itself could, with some trying, fell just about any foe. But a dragon, speaking one in person, it's you realize that there are bigger fish in the sea sometimes.
Now if you've seen Zinrat's hobby, what do you like to do for fun?
It's not a whole lot I do for fun. I mainly just try to survive. The world isn't kind to me, as you probably tell.
I feel like you and Sakira will have to sit down after we get done with the guild because it sounds like you would have a lot of material for her book.
Maybe. Bizelk just kind of looks down and is kind of cleaning out his unusually long nails with the tip of an arrowhead.
Acteza kind of like sensing the mood. We'll kind of go back to focusing on driving the wagon as you've got like the little octopus, kind of like how like a cat will like knead, doing it with its tentacles on her shoulder.
Oh, the octopus is doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like plays in your hair some with its tentacles on occasions.
So, what's your story?
Well, it's basically I've been on a mission my entire life to free my father from imprisonment. Shortly after he had gotten with my mother, he had been tricked into his long-standing prison by another god. due to the inherent celestial, or not celestial, god power that was remnants whenever I was born, it ended up killing my mother during birth. So I've spent the last 350 years trying to piece together how to break him out.
350 years. Long time.
Indeed, and less progress than I'd like. But as I was telling Zenrot last night, anything involving the gods is quite an uphill battle.
Does not seem there's much love for the deities with you guys.
I mean, to be honest, I don't have any qualms with most of them. I mean, obviously, my father is one,
Of course.
as is Zenrot's. There's just very specific ones. When you sit down with Sakira, you'll see that she's actually had the worst of it since she had made a pact, and luckily for us, she had acquired a wish spell. Otherwise, she probably would still be indebted to him, being forced to murder her on his whims.
Wait just a moment. Dre, check your messages.
Let me see.
The only deity you can think of, Bizelk, is the one that your tribe worships, which is the Earth Mother, Troxy.
Okay. Does this have anything to do with... I mean, I really only know of one deity. You know, of, what was her name again? Troxy, I believe.
Yes, Troxxy.
I mean, there could be some sort of linkage there as far as what I know currently. Azathoth is the one that is causing all the issues for both Zenrite and I, which is one of the dragon gods. My father is one of the Eldritch, Olkoth. But outside of that, I mean, there's a handful more of the dragon gods that I'm familiar with, but I doubt you would be familiar if you were this surprised to encounter a dragon.
I get out, but I tend to stay away from civilization.
Speaking of which, as we're approaching civilization, I guess I should elaborate. We all just recently joined. Well, I guess Rayla hasn't technically joined. We encountered her while we were on our quest as well, but we are part of the Lunar Palms of the Mercies Guild, which is the one out of Oman. We are working on our, I think this is our bronze level quest, trying to go up the ranks because higher ranks allow you to have additional perks and knowledge inside the guild. We're hoping with these couple quests that we might be able to move up. I think it was, if I recall correctly, I think it was 3 or 5 quests to be able to move up from bronze to silver, but
It was 3. As you're talking and kind of making your way down down the road, you actually start to notice more and more carriages passing you, and without really making a perception check, you do notice that there are a few tieflings hidden among these carriages. It's almost like it's not a constant stream, but you're passing far more carriages than you've ever seen leaving from the city.
Um, kind of between looking at them and everything, would we be able to piece together, uh, kind of like insight wise, if they're in distress leaving?
Sure, roll me an insight check. And if Bizelk's helping you with this, roll at
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, I'll help.
2 weeks? Are we still just starting our travel?
Do what?
Is this already been 2 weeks, or are we just starting our travel?
I would say this is a few hours into the travel, just given the length of the conversation while you've been eating.
Okay.
It's a 14.
Okay. With a 14, you can definitely tell there's some scarcity among their eyes. They don't make much eye contact with you, and when they do, it's a very quick dart look away. Most of them are wearing their hoods up, as especially the tieflings are completely concealed as much as possible.
Acteza would try to find at least one person that would seem to be open to engage in conversation.
Sure. It wouldn't be too hard. Some people might not want to talk to you, but eventually, you find an older couple. It looks to be a gnome and his human wife, just riding in a carriage. Yes, laddie. What can I help you with?
I just was wondering,
Or lass, I mean.
where what seems to be driving everybody this way out of Oman? We're on our way back to the guild to turn in some quests, but it's a little disconcerting to see this many carriages leaving the city that we're heading towards.
Oh, poor fella. Do you live under a rock? Have you not heard the news?
I mean, we just spent about 2 weeks heading out for our quest. A few days after that, completing said quests, and then are just now heading back. So it's
Yeah,
been,
given the amount of long rest, I'd say about 3 weeks.
yeah.
Oh, well, that would explain it. Adventuring, are we? I remember back when I was a young whippersnapper. I was out there slinging spells, and anyways, before I drove
Like an
on.
arrow to the knee.
Yeah, I took too many back injuries, you see. Too many axe handles to the back. So, anyways, Oman is kind of in an uproar, as there's been like a group, a group of spies apparently that's come out, that's been trying to infiltrate the royals, and the city's kind of going on lockdown. Um, Apparently they've been murdering tieflings in the street now. I don't know what's going on. They're dragging people out of their homes, so most people are fleeing when they can.
Thank you for the information. I won't hold you up.
I appreciate it. And he just kind of gets on his way.
Well, your first interaction with civilization seems to probably be a little bit more interesting than we originally intended, Bizelk.
Yeah, I'm not, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm no stranger to the fighting of civilization.
Well, we'll have to share this with Zinrat and Rayla whenever we make our next stop.
what are you doing at this point, Zenrot and Rayla?
I'm still just riding on Zinrot. She's
And
eating.
Zinrot is just matching pace. Right now, she's just enjoying the open air.
Okay, so a leisurely pace.
She's following her mom, basically, just keeping a scout's eye around them.
I'd say the carriage at this point, just given the traffic's moving about 20 feet, kind of over time. So you're going a very slow, leisurely pace. Rayla, it's actually at this point you see a pigeon land on Zenrot's back, and it's actually, given your affiliation, you know this pigeon. It's actually one of the carrier pigeons for your spy network.
I go up to the pigeon.
Sure, and it welcomes. It's used to being grabbed to deliver messages.
And I'll take the message from the pigeon.
And you do. And as you unscroll this message, it says on there, correspondent Rayla, we have been sending you messages for a week now, and have not heard back from you. If you are dead, then we will assume so. But if you are alive, please respond to our correspondence. It says, orders from Dragonthorn. You are to infiltrate Oman at once, as we have been uncovered and they know of our location.
After I read it, I will go ahead and send a correspondence back, letting them know that I'm still alive.
Okay. It just further details that information you already know, that there is activity, there's suspected activity among the royals that go against the natural order of the world, and they want you to investigate that. As you kind of roll up a small little note and put it in the little carrying case on the pigeon, it just kind of flies off. So, after a couple more hours of traveling, it gets to about the evening, or not evening, but late afternoon hours, as you all kind of start to make camp alongside the road. The stream of caravans is kind of slowed at this point, as it seems to be about that getting towards the evening hour when most people would be making camp. You're able to find a small clearing kind of nestled up in the wood lines on the side of the road. How are we all making camp tonight?
What'd you say? The end?
Just how are you all setting up camp, or if you're doing anything else?
I would say, I think for the next 2 weeks, I think Zenrot's gonna kind of live life as a dragon and kind of keep just a small distance. And she just wants some time to herself, and she'll follow and watch the group while she just kind of lives.
Okay, noted. Is
But
there
she's
anything
keeping an
else?
eye.
Gotcha. Is there anything else anybody is doing kind of during these 2-week travels? Like you can work on a hobby, go hunting, play tiddlywinks, anything really.
I don't think Acteza's got anything since she had finished reading through the dragon book that she had collected there at Oman. So probably just kind of camping whenever we're stopping for camp. She would have Morgar kind of sitting watch as we rest, since with its owl form it should be pretty proficient at guarding at night.
Okay. What about Rayla? What are you doing over the 2 weeks?
I think I will just be kind of chilling in the carriage at this point after the first night and just kind of ride with her too.
Okay. Yeah, I guess a good scare falling out of the sky.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I don't know if
Then,
I'll do that again.
and then Bizelk, what are you doing during this 2 weeks of travel? Bizelk.
Apparently, I was muted. Keep
Ah.
doing that for some reason. Bizelk will just kind of just be walking along the side of the carriage for the most part, as well as just kind of getting a survey of the surroundings, keeping his head on a swivel.
Okay. I'll say for the most part, given just knowledge of the party and with Zinrot, y'all are all able to just keep a decent, plentiful amount of food around. 3 square meals a day. It's not the best food, but it's it's edible for sure.
And we're in
So
what, the plains right now?
it's it's not like a deep forest, but
Grassland.
foresty.
Foresty. Okay. So then, no, not really worrying about food then. Oh, no,
Yeah,
it's
there's plenty of like small elk and rabbits, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So during these 2 week travels, you all pass by plenty of more people. It seems like you've passed by at least 1,000 carriages by this point. Before you finally make it towards the gate of Oman. The city you had once left is not the city you returned to. As you approach the eastern gate of Oman, you notice that sitting outside of the city, strung up on nooses, there are some tieflings. They're very much been dead for quite some time. And it clearly seems to be some kind of message, as they're just kind of swinging there in the wind on some scaffoldings. There seems to be more guards outside at the gate than there usually are. They are actually really more towards the inside of the gate, as you see one of the you see a caravan or carriage, I mean, trying to leave the city, as they are holding the carriage at spear point, kind of blocking it from leaving.
Zinrot won't do anything. This has nothing to do with the group or her. She would have already transformed into that human form that I mentioned earlier, with the cobalt next to her carrying her stuff like a assistant would.
Yep, and he does so proudly, or actually she does so proudly. As your I keep saying caravan, as your carriage pulls up to the gate, the guards are kind of surprised, as even though they have their orders, they haven't seen many people coming to the city of Mon, given the news going out from it. You all approach the gate as one of the guards kind of steps up. Halt! State your business here.
I am Aladrian Frothburn, and I'm looking to deepen the city's pockets with a new noble blood.
Roll a deception check for me.
I don't think I need to. I have the gold, and I have the dragon blood in me.
The deception is more to kind of go across as a person he has never met before and also never heard of.
Okay. 1 second. 1 second. It's just getting rice made. 1 second. Oh, and also, when the sun hits her just right, she has like little bits of like dragon scale shine going across her skin, as of any humanoid with draconic bloodline would have those.
What is it one more time? A shine?
Yeah, so she has like a draconic sorcerer who has a dragon bloodline. They get like their skins have like a type of scales that's like human skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see it in the sunlight. It blends really well.
Oh, I get you, because you look human, but you have dragon scales at portions. I get you now.
Yeah, she's basically giving the appearance that she's a draconic sorcerer by
Okay.
blood.
Okay.
You said deception?
Sure.
That's a 26.
Oh, and he immediately like straightens up his posture. Oh, forgive me. I did not know that we had royal ambassadors coming through, or a princess. 1,000 apologies. What was it again?
My name is Ambush. What was the name I just used? Do they remember the name I just used? Alondria. It's Alondria Frostburn. And I'm of dragon royalty.
Well, I mean, looking at the scales, you clearly look to be of dragon royalty. I've never heard of the Frostverns, though, but I mean, it's not like I get out much. Anyways, please go ahead. I'm sure the capital would love to have your gold.
I would actually like it if you would give me an escort. As she gives him 3 gold.
Certainly, right away, madam. As he goes and fetches some of the guardsmen kind of around the gate. Not all of them. There's about 10 guards at the gate. He fetches about 5 of those. These men will escort you up to the noble district.
She gives each of them 2 gold. She bows her head, a respectable noble bow, as she goes, "Come, Asher," and she starts to follow them to where she needs to go to get herself assigned as a noble person in the city.
Right away, mistress. Is everybody following suit?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you guys can go do your own thing if you want. You don't have to follow this.
Yeah, I mean,
Did
up
you
to you
fill
guys.
the group in on what you were doing beforehand? Because I think that
nope.
no.
I thought I did. I mentioned it to Acteza when I was talking to her in the hot springs.
Well, you told me
You mentioned you had a plan, but you didn't actually elaborate.
Oh, well then she would have elaborated before we would have left then.
Okay.
I thought that
guess...
was me elaborating.
Oh, well, I mean, just go ahead, like, meta-wise, and actually say what your plan is, just so, like, she knows.
She's gonna make a fake noble family to gain money and influence.
Okay. Already being privy to what Zenrot was going to do, Acteza is going to head to the guild house to turn in because there's no. If anything, she's more worried that she's going to ruin Zenrot's plan. Instead, is going to focus on getting the guild stuff taken care of and returning her book, and then probably shopping after. But
okay. So I mean, clearly that Zenrot was part of the group. They just assume that you're part of this, like, part of her entourage, basically, and they just let you all through. As you pass, they kind of force the carriage out of the way. As you can see, some people like scared for their life, as there are some tieflings that look. They just given like passive perception, you can kind of tell that they did a bad job at trying to escape from the city, as you can clearly see their horns showing through their cloak, as the guards are just ordering them to get off and putting them in cuffs.
kind of whispering to Zenrot, and, well, I guess the group as a whole, but I'm glad that Sakira stayed behind for this one.
Zenrot nods.
Bizelk mumbles under his breath a little bit. This way, civilization.
So, you're all able to get to your destinations. I know Acteza, Bizelk, and Rayla, you are all heading towards the Adventurers Guild. If there's anywhere else you would like to go, just let me know. But you're able to make it to the Adventurers Guild. the lunar thing. Let me look at my notes. I closed my book.
Lunar palms.
Yeah, the lunar palms. You're able to make it there with your carriage. There's enough space, given that they expect carriages to be used by adventurers, that you find a parking kind of spot for your carriage among some others. Um, as you make your way in, you're actually greeted once again by Wilda, the tavern maiden at the reception desk. She looks a little more worried though. She's not as well kept as she once was, and the Adventurers Guild looks a lot more empty than it once was as well. As she kind of just says, "Please close the door behind you. Come in, come in."
Good day. We have returned with a couple of quests to turn in. These should have been checked out under the Shattered Shards. And we may have a couple members, as she turns to Bizelk and Rayla, to join our ragtag group.
Okay. Well, I'll dock the registration fees from the reward just for those two. And she kind of hands both Rayla and Bizelk a bronze necklace. It's held together with a silver kind of chain, and on the front there's kind of like in the Overlord anime, if you've seen that. It's like a flattened out copper penny almost, but in the shape of like a rectangle.
Okay.
It's not crudely made. It's very well made, and it's a copper piece in the shape of a rectangle, kind of like almost jewelry on the front of a necklace. And it just basically is for the means to show that you are part of the Adventurers Guild and what rank you are, which is bronze. Well, if you're not aware, welcome to the Adventurers Guild. There are many ranks to climb to the top. There is bronze, which is the lowest, which you're at right now. Then there's silver, gold, diamond, or no, silver. I can't remember. Sorry, it's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and adamantine. Most of our adventurers are silvers, a handful that are golds. And if you aren't aware, all the adventurer guilds throughout Mercy are connected under the same people. So if you wish to turn in a quest, you can go anywhere to turn it in.
Thank you.
And she'll, huh?
Bizelk just goes, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, as for the reward for the quest, and she kind of you see her go behind the desk, and you kind of hear her unlocking a lockbox as she gathers up some gold in a small thin leather pouch, and she's like, she's kind of counting it up. She counts up, I believe it was 70 gold per. So it's going to be a total of 138 gold, minus 2 for the registration. So you all get 138 gold, or just one of you. I'm assuming you kind of split it up, or however y'all want. Now, was there, as for the quest, I believe it was the goblins raiding a town and then a farm village. I heard from the town leader, Bruce, that there was a little more bite to chew, though. Would you mind filling us in? We'd like to compensate you if it was a hard quest.
Well, so it turned out the goblins that had been attacking the farm village were under some leader named Kilgore. And seeing as while we had taken the goblins out of the town, it was likely that it was going to be attacked again in retaliation. So we ended up moving on to the goblin stronghold from there to remove Kilgore. At this point, she's going to set the keys up. Here are the keys if any of the guild need to investigate further, but we cleared out to the best of our knowledge. We even walked back through it after defeating Kilgore, confirming that no one else was there. But he seemed to have some sort of full-on operation. We didn't get any data on if he had additional people that he worked for, but it was a very A very robust operation running out of the nearby mountainside there.
Her eyes just kind of widen. Kilgore, you say? Oh my. Well, and she kind of flips through her like quest book. Well, that was a silver rank quest to go after that man. He had a bounty on his head. I can't believe you're able to do that at a bronze level. Y'all must be more powerful than y'all let on. Well, if that's the case, we'll have to investigate it. But, I mean, given the level of this quest was, well, and she kind of like, I'll have to get those bronzes back from you, and she kind of starts handing you silver ones. That quest was a mid-level silver quest. That honestly counts for a promotion.
Well, that is fantastic. And I can attest it definitely felt higher than a bronze level quest.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually just sent out a group of silver adventurers about a week ago. You probably passed them on the way. They're not going to be too happy to find out it's already been completed, but part of the job.
Well, thank you. Do we
And,
have a couple members that didn't come with us? Do they need to come back in to trade out for the silver emblem, or
that would be nice. I'll go ahead and give you the silver emblems. How many in total is in your party?
6 total? Or 5 total.
Okay. And she gives you she gives you 5 silver ranked adventure necklaces. And she takes the ones that she just gave 2 of you and the one you're wearing. Oh, if yes, we would like it if they can return it, but honestly, if it's not a huge deal given the time, it's not a pressing matter. We're going to go looking for them. Besides, they're only bronze.
As you say.
Alyssa, the only thing that really happened is they just kind of added you to the Adventurers Guild registry under the Shattered Shards party name, which that's the name of the party, by the way, the Shattered Shards.
Okay.
And whether or not you want your name to actually be on there as Rayla, that's fine. But given the details of the stronghold and Kilgore that you had slain, you actually all got promoted to silver rank adventurers because that was a league above the quest y'all are able to take on. And that's pretty much all that's happened.
Okay.
She also hands you 500 gold for the bounty on Kilgore. We've had a lot of trouble with that one. He actually has been trying to take over some farmlands in other nearby towns, but I guess he had his sights set on the nearest one. Well, thank God you guys were around to stop him, because we were afraid we weren't going to have any adventures, as she kind of points out to like a nearly empty tavern. There's actually a homeless man that's kind of camped up at the doorway. We're not really having much business now that the kingdom's having issues.
Well, I guess good thing they found me in Kilgore's prison then.
Oh, he made you a prisoner. I'm sorry, dear. That sounds awful.
Okay. That was collateral damage to him.
Well, at least you're free and back in, I guess, a somewhat free city.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any other quest you'd like to take on, we have a few, but if not, you can always come by at some point.
Well, we might swing by later today later today or the next week or so to pick up one. We'll just confirm with our other party members on what we wanted to press forward with first.
Okay. Well, I'm actually glad you said that, because that was a bluff. We really don't have any quests. Nobody really wants to work with Oman right now, given the climate.
We noticed as we were entering.
Yes, it's a sad sight. I'm glad that y'all don't seem to agree with it.
So,
Yes.
who's the reasoning behind all of this? Do you know?
Well, yes, I've heard a lot through passerbyers, and some of the homeless around here are not tight-lipped. As he kind of looks at the bearded homeless man, he looks to be about a 60-year-old dwarf, just kind of leaned up. He looks passed out in a drunken stupor. So apparently, what the word around town is the king has died. They don't know what caused it. It seemed he had died of old age, is what they're telling us. Though I don't believe it. He was only 50 years old, and I mean, being a king, he must have been in somewhat okay health. But apparently, he had died, and now his younger sister has taken over. I believe her name is Zella Lacroix. She's turning this place into a real big shit show. Honestly, as long as you're not a tiefling, you'll be fine, but they've been massacring them.
Thank you for the information.
Sure. Though I will say, uh, just stay, don't stay out of trouble. Okay? Y'all seem like some good people.
Thank you.
Um, as you turn around to leave, you will notice there's a wanted poster up near the door, and without any shadow of a doubt, it is Zinrot in her young girl form, wanted, stealer of magic items.
Does she look like a menace in the picture?
Yeah, like you have some shark-looking teeth. Like it looks like you carbon copy. It's actually a decent drawing, but they definitely have given you like this sinister shark teeth smile.
Perfect. Is it just her?
This from the stealing? What was it? The cards.
Yeah, the deck of many things.
Deck
Well,
of
really,
many thing.
almost every item in the magic shop.
2 bags of holding. Well,
A deck of many things, like a handful of
potions.
potions.
Yeah, it was not great. Acteza was not comfortable.
Yeah, it says "wanted alive" on the poster. Bounty to be like it says "wanted" for like a reward.
And now she
Um,
looks completely different.
yeah, it's your young girl form, because I mean that's all they knew you.
Yep.
So at this point, is there anything y'all would like to be doing? I know Acteza, you said the bookstore and something else. What about Rayla and Bizelk? Is there any plans y'all have in the city? There's, I mean, pretty much anything here: magic shops, libraries, stables, like and anything you name it.
Still kind of goes to probably go to like a clothing store to get better clothes than the almost rags he has on now.
Sure.
This goes. It's like better armor and just in general fairly low, like that not things that stand out a whole lot, just basic clothing.
Okay. And then Rayla, anything you're trying to do while you're here?
Not specifically. No, I think I'll go to the bookstore as well, just because I do like books. I just want to browse and see what there is there.
Okay, I'll just kind of take you along with Octeza then. So Mazelk, we'll kind of start with you first. Um,
do we want to
kinda
split
just with your-
gold before that?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
If we do it 4 ways, it'd be 160 each. Or if we do it 5, what was it? It was 38 divided by 4. It's 127.
Okay.
The only reason why I said 4 was I planned on giving some to Bizelk either way, but he also wasn't in our group for the 2 quests.
gotcha.
Oh, what you're saying.
So I guess it's more what everybody else is comfortable with for it. And then, DM, did you say there was something leather bound they gave us as well?
Just they gave it like a leather sack to hold
Okay,
gold
gotcha.
in. Yeah, nothing expensive, just something to throw gold in.
Perfect.
We're gonna take a small little break real quick.
Alright.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay.
So, Bizelk, continuing on, just with your passive investigation, it's not too hard to kind of point out a tailor shop. There's a few shops you pass by, but one kind of picks your eye. The clothing on display seems a little more elf-like, or at least nature. Kind of reminds you of home in a way, just the look of the garb. As you're looking at the signage, it's called Thread the Needle Tailor Shop.
Bizelk kind of walks in a little hesitant. Hello?
Yeah, as you walk in, there's a cling, 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 cling. As behind the counter, you just find a human male, about middle age. Oh, what can I do you for?
I just need some better clothing, as you can tell. Nothing too fancy.
Nothing too fancy, but better clothing. Yeah, the rags you're wearing, have definitely seen better days. It looks like you've been in a scuffle or two. I'm guessing you're looking for something that'll kind of hold up a little.
Yeah.
I think I got something just in mind for you. As he kind of just brings out, it's not like anything super tough. It's not armor. It's something you could wear under armor for sure. But he brings out some common hunting clothes, and I'll let you kind of describe its style, just because I haven't yet to know your character just yet too well.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels as if it's made of the trees, and actually there are some leaf patterns woven into it for sure.
Okay. I'd say the clothing's probably very, very earthy tone. The pants are more of a kind of a barky-like look to it.
Okay.
As the shirt, those very green, wearing this clothes, it almost makes me look like a tree if I stand close to one.
Ah, ghillie suit.
Yeah, pretty much almost ghillie
Okay.
suit like.
Okay, it's kind of like camo clothing, but not like actual camo pattern.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So
Like
yeah,
that?
Kind of like that, but just a little less leafy.
so more like actual like cotton clothes, but there's a leafy pattern kind of woven onto them.
Yeah, woven onto it, and little pieces kind of hanging off that kind of gives a look of actual leaves.
Okay, yeah, I'll say there's like almost a cloak. You'll get, and the cloak itself kind of does work like a ghillie suit in a way, given the leaves attached, and they're made of like a plasticky kind of silk synthetic kind of feel. I'll just say silk, as you don this kind of cloak over it. Once you pull the hood up and you kind of look in the mirror, if you like hunched over, there would be no discernible difference between a bush and you.
Perfect.
And I'll say this probably took about 30 minutes, as this tailor brought you all kinds of different greens and browns until he finally said, I just can't figure out what theme you're going for. It's clearly nature, but wait. That animalistic look in your eyes. And he kind of like almost grabs your cheeks. I have this one set that I've been trying to sell for years, but nobody wants to buy it. But you look like you might. As he like rummages through a bunch of like clothing in the back, and he brings out the exactly what you just described. This is just how we're getting to this. See, nobody's ever wanted this get up. They said it makes them look like a bush, but I'm getting the feeling that you look like the kind of man who would want to be a bush.
Perfect. That is exactly what I'm looking for.
Ah, a true connoisseur of art. See, that was my own handiwork there. And given the look, this man looks to be has an earthy vibe around him. It almost is akin to like a wood elf of like home to you. Or at least if you've been around a wood elf, it kind of he has that same presence of him, of like he really cares for nature, at least through his art style. Finally, somebody is appreciating the artiste I have in my hands. Thank you, good sir. That will be 1 gold for the get up.
Of course. And has him the gold.
Ah,
So, well, I'll hand him 2 golds, like the one as for the payment, and then second as just kind of a tip.
you're most kind. I'll use this to influence my next masterpiece.
Of course. And I look forward to see what further acquire you occur.
I look forward to it as well. My mind's already racing. You have a good day now.
You as well, sir.
And then now we'll kind of jump over to Acteza and Rayla at this point. You're able to find the bookstore again. I can't remember if I gave it a name, but I do remember it had a sign with I believe a lizard reading a book or something among that. So we're going to go with the napping dragon. As you kind of cling, 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 seems to be a common occurrence among stores. You open the door and enter in. You are greeted once more by the elven woman that was keeping the shop once again. Ah, I believe I remember you. Yes, you had the little girl with you that took that book. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I came to return my book.
Ah, well, I appreciate it. And she kind of gives it a look over, makes sure it's not too badly damaged, kind of flips through the pages real quick. Looks like everything's in order. As she'll kind of put it back on the shelf behind her.
Did you, I would assume, but a history of Oman. Is there one of those here?
History of Oman. I'm pretty sure there are. And she kind of goes around a few of the aisles, kind of perusing. Ah, here we are. Yes, seems to be the only book we have on the history of Mon. Surprising you think we'd have more, given that the shop's here. As she kind of gives that like sheepish anime look. Anyways, yes, this book is available.
Perfect. I would like to buy it or borrow it, if that isn't an issue. It seems like
Sure.
getting caught up on what the city's history is a good plan with the comment or the occurrences of late.
Yes, I believe it'll be a fine read. As for the current occurrences, I don't know. I mean, I make my living here, so I have to kind of go with it. But I think it's kind of devilish what they do to those tieflings. Pardon the pun. Hee hee.
No, I agree. It seems rather aggressive, even if they did consider them slaves to begin with.
Well, is there anything else I can help you with?
I think that's it for me. Rayla, did you need anything?
No, I'm not seeing anything that piques my interest at this time.
Okay. Well, if there is, just let me know.
As Acteza exits the bookstore, she'll kind of turn to Rayla. Well, I'm glad that the wanted poster for Zinrot has the wrong depiction and no one else was included, because I plan on heading back over to the magic shop to make some purchases there if you're wanting to tag along.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely tag along. Maybe, yeah, tag along. I'm sneaky. Maybe we'll just take something.
Oh, please, dear God, no.
Oh, but why?
We literally swindled, or when I say we, I mean Zinrot and Sakira, swindled this man out of like 3 lifetimes worth of items.
So what's one more lifetime worth?
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Damn, okay.
Let me look at your alignment real quick. Oh, chaotic evil. Got it. As y'all set up that plan to head to the magic shop, we're going to kind of transition on over to Zinrot as you're making your way. You go past like a wall. I wouldn't say it's a defensive wall, but it definitely is like a segregation kind of barrier here, entering into a definitely higher clientele district. The houses are much larger and well made. They have all kinds of fancy architecture. There definitely is money flowing in this area. The guards will look at you once more. Sorry, but where were you trying to head again?
I'm looking to go to whoever part of the city where I can put my name in to be enlisted as a noble person here. And that way I can also put my money and resources into the city to help it through its transitioning times.
I don't. They like look to each other and they start talking. I don't really know if there's a place to take a person to be a noble. Have you heard of a place? No, I haven't heard of a place. What about you, John? Beats me.
Then
I guess we
take
should
me-
take her to the capital.
Yes, the capital would be perfect. Yes, please. Zinron her
Okay.
head. I have no idea where. Zinron her head's like, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. I'm just trying to act.
Yeah, you're just winging it.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
The guards are like, I guess if you're gonna try to be a royal, it would be by the king's decree. Well, we'll go there, and they kind of lead you on to the castle keep. I have to refamiliarize myself with how Oman looks. So, as you kind of head around, you go around the district area. You come in through the east gate, and you've already traveled about, I'd say, half a mile to just get to this part of the city. As you continue on your way down through this district, and if you're looking at the city of Amon's map, you pass through the front of a very large cathedral. It's actually a cathedral dedicated to a handful of gods, mainly the Celestials themselves. As you make your way past this cathedral, you head through a kind of mercantile area. It's definitely a higher class. There's a magic shop you can see, as well as an alchemy store and a smithy. As you make your way past those, you come to a very regal looking guard station that is just positioned next to some the like a ramp leading up to the stairs to the keep, which kind of wounds in a serpentine like pattern, making its way up. You make your way up through passing through trees, before you're halted at the keep gate, which is being manned by the royal guard. Aren't you all stationed at the front gate? What are you doing leaving your post? Well, we were told to come here by the captain because there's a royal looking to see the king. Really, is that so? We're just letting anybody come up and see the king now. And who are you, royal?
I am Almeida Frostburn, and I am looking to be part of this city and to help deepen its pockets through its transitioning times.
They all give you, like, the two royal guards standing there give you a skeptical look. And I would almost say to make a deception roll. But that's before they're interrupted, just before they're about to speak, as a more jolly looking man. Kind of imagine Santa Claus figure, a shorter stature, comes up, a human. He looks to be in his late 50s. Oh, you're looking to go see the king, huh? Well, a fellow noble, I can kind of help you on your way here. Guard, she's with me. No worries here. And they kind of just let you pass. So, tell me, you said gold to the city, What kind
Yes.
of trades or fairs are you bringing?
Currently, all I have is gold, that I'm here to gain roots and to make it flow.
Not to toot my own horn, but the city makes plenty of gold, especially from my guild. But if all you're here is to donate, well,
I'm here.
Sure, we can take it.
I'm here to also buy land, property, and enroot a noble dragon bloodline here and for the city.
Dragon noble bloodline. I don't think we have any of those. Better chances, probably, but
We're
it
rare.
depends on what you can offer the city.
Oh, my bloodline enough could make sorcerers very powerful for the city.
Magic. And the whole time you're talking, you're making it up to the main gate to the keep. You pass by the checkpoint where most of the armies is stationed behind. Looking at the map, the blue kind of in the center. Actually, I can put this over where the YouTube page is. Give me just a moment. Let me know if you're able to see this.
Yep.
Okay, can you see my cursor?
Yep.
So you pass by this front gate here, and behind it there is a large garrison type building, a training yard, where there's plenty of soldiers, both experienced and new, training in this courtyard all around here. There's definitely housing here for both generals and high nobles of the royal court. As you make your way through this winding passage, you get to the actual main gate of the keep, very heavily fortified. You see a large number of about 20 royal guards standing both in front and behind the gate. The merchant has enough leeway that you're able to pass without much qualms as he kind of flaunts his nobility. You're able to get all the way up to the actual castle keep. The castle is not actually quite that small. I'd say it actually takes this whole area here. And for the most part, you're able to actually get an audience with the king, though that's what you first thought. As actually you're met with you're actually met with just one of the noblemen of the royal court. I actually was not expecting this, so I do not have a name just yet for this person, but
Okay.
his title is the Lord of Merchants of this city. He kind of keeps track of all the affairs and ingoing. He's like the treasurer, basically.
Okay.
So I was told by some of the royal guards that you were looking to provide business here, and you were a royal of some dragon lineage.
She does bow her head. Yes.
He bows.
I am looking to establish my roots in this city and my bloodline to this city, and I have the gold to back it up.
bloodline. How is that done? I assume you don't just sell yourself out like some common whore among the brothels.
No, and what a weird way to put that, but it's fine. No, she kind of like scratches her brow a little bit. Other families would kill the half-dragon bloodline. I am a dragon bloodline sorcerer. I wield magic. I marry to some other family, or some family merges with mine. We create offspring that would be a part of the city and could inherit my draconic bloodline for generations to come.
Forgive the rudeness, I did not mean any. I just have no recollection of how a draconic bloodline is spread. I assumed it was through actual blood ties, but we've seen crazier things in this city.
You're fine, but it is. I would be offering my offspring to the city, to the royal family.
And you say this bloodline is quite capable.
My bloodline is of amethyst. And gravity is our magic.
We could use some more magical power in this city. We are trying to bolster our army, and we do lack in magical firepower.
Plus, more gold never hurts.
Roll me a persuasion check at this point.
Okay.
Given, actually, I'll let you have it at advantage, just given how much, like, the role play here.
Cool. So it's gonna be 1 second. But what I am gonna do is, she's gonna use her control on gravity, and she is going to do, what's the ability called? 1 second. Whatever you, no. Warping gravity. It's a saving throw or a miss attack roll, not a skill check. Never mind. So it's gonna be 14.
I don't know. I don't have enough leverage to just make somebody a noble, unfortunately. That'd be more of the current queen's power.
How would a 50,000 gold deposit help?
Unfortunately, we have plenty of gold in our city. Trade is abundant.
That's fine. I can go to another city with my money and my bloodline. Say no less. And she'll start turning around and start walking away.
Well, hold on. It doesn't mean we couldn't be convinced. If you do a favor for us, we could see about doing a favor for you.
And what would that be?
Well, see, we've had a large problem with some rebels in our city here lately. They seem to disagree with our laws on slavery. We would just need you to go improve your power by murdering, back that up, not murdering, by relieving the city of these do-gooders.
It can be done.
Really? That was me more as like a meta-wise. I'm like, holy shit. Wow, I'm impressed to see you so willing to do this. I appreciate it.
Us, based with the draconic bloodline, are more of neutral people. It's part of life. This won't be the first or last place that has slaves.
Well, I can agree on the first thing, but we really are the last place to have slaves.
For now, history will say otherwise. Nonetheless, where are they at?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know where they're at. That's if we knew, they wouldn't be a problem, would they?
So you have a rebel cell, a rebel base inside your city that you need me to sniff out.
Yes, it's honestly very troublesome. They've been trying to attack the keep at night sometimes, but it would be a help, and I think the queen would appreciate it.
I'd be willing, as long as it's on paper with your signature.
And yeah, he makes a document, just basically stating those words. I will deliver this to the queen's ears herself to let her know it's being undertaken. I'm sure she will be most pleased. Feel free to use any methods you see fit.
Once the document is so, it's been documented that if she does
Yes,
this
it's
for them,
signed and stamped, yes.
okay, perfect. Well, we'll see each other soon then.
I hope so.
Oh, where is the closest residential for buying?
Let's see. There are a few residences up for grabs within our district. If you have the money, there is a smaller abode. There is a larger abode that fits up to about 10 people, as well as any servants that you hire. But if money is more of a problem, I guess you could always afford one of the smaller abodes.
How much was the first one?
The first abode is about $20,000. The smaller is on 10,000.
I'll buy it. And will that give me space to build around it and such?
Not space to build around it, but it would be your home to see fit to refurbish how you wish.
Perfect. She'll push up Asher. Asher, her bloodline has been in my draconic bloodlines for generations. She is my right hand, my eyes and my ears. She'll handle the documents and the money.
Oh wow, a kobold servant. How quaint. We don't get many of those around here.
They
You can very much see a disgruntled, like, disgusting face. As I'm assuming Asher gives the 20k gold.
Yeah, and we'll basically we'll take care of getting the property all ready for her. She's gonna go find the group.
Okay. Yeah. At that point, you're able to leave the keep and make your way back to the group. It's during this time that both Acteza and Rayla, you both, following Acteza, you make your way back to the magic shop. However, unfortunately, as it may be, you come to a closed magic shop. The sign says they had gone out of business due to bankruptcy.
That figures. I guess we could always look to see if there's another one in town.
Actually, thinking back on it, the homeless man you saw in the Adventurers Guild did look familiar. It's at this moment that Zinrat reconvenes, as well as Bizelk.
Well, it looks like magic items might be off the table during this excursion to the city. As she kind of like glares at Zinrat.
Sidron just waves, almost a little too childish for her appearance. She kind of walks over. So I have good news. One, learning to be an adult, especially a noble one, is exhausting. Even though I'm older than most of those people there. Stupid. Anyway.
Yeah, you
This
see,
is stupid, right?
Acteza kind of like raise an eyebrow of like, yeah, being an adult is a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, like she's tired from just that whole charade. She hated everything about it. So, I have bought us a place to live in this city that you're all welcome to use as your kind of your own place besides the shard. And I am requesting help from all of you. And I'll pay you all 1,000 gold each.
What is it that you need?
There are some resistance people here that we need to sniff out and have them either leave or, well, extinguish them.
They would have given you, actually, they would have given you a name, by the way, for the
Okay.
resistance. Or at least part of the I guess the resistance. The name would have been Dragonthorn.
The Dragon Thorn resistance, I guess. And for me to get into their side of things for my personal reasons, I need to do them a favor. So, would you help little old me? She kind of does like almost like kind of childish kind of act with her hands behind her and kind of swaying back and forth a little bit.
Are you referring to the
Really?
group that's on the side of the tieflings?
I would believe so, yes, Mother.
Are you comfortable with ousting that group? With your relationship to Sakira?
I don't think Sakira really cares. Right? I mean, I don't want to kill them. We can help them leave. Maybe even give them some money to be on their way. I just need them gone. I mean, I've been observing you, Mom, especially you, how you act lately. Now that I've been shown that I need to change my perspective, I know there are certain grays and whites to things, but some things can be gray. We could do it without any bloodshed, persuade them to leave. But I have to make steps for a greater purpose. And that's not always a clean cut, I guess. Point of view, I don't know. Still learning this whole adult business.
It's at this time, I think I'm going to call it for the session.